Airbnb is a community marketplace where you can list and book all types of spaces all over the world by the night, the week, and now by the month.
Wow.
We're in 19,000 cities, 190 countries. So in the early days of starting the company, we didn't have any money. We maxed out our credit cards. My co-founder Brian and I had about $10,000 in credit card debt each. We actually couldn't use our credit cards anymore. There's no more limit. And so that led us to think of, well, what are the other ways that we can make some money to keep the company going? And that led to a very unusual idea, which is to make breakfast cereal. And this is during the time of the presidential elections in the United States. So Barack Obama, John McCain, they were like taking over headlines nationwide, worldwide even. And we just had this crazy idea to make breakfast cereal in the likeness of Obama and McCain. So we called it Cat McCain's and Obama O's.
Cool.
And we only made 500 of each box. Had a beautiful design on the front, like really well designed. And each box was numbered 1 out of 500, 2 out of 500.
Oh.
So it was a very limited edition. And because it was such a collector's item, we were able to charge some money for it. So we ended up selling out of the boxes. And that's how we funded the company early on. Designers are always searching for non-obvious solutions, and in the world of industrial design, it's also about invention. You constantly have to invent new things, new ways that people can experience a product. And I think that we bring that same level of invention to the internet, to our service. So a lot of these kind of principles from the real world, from designing a consumer product, we brought to make it to Airbnb, which is a bit of a virtual service. So there's a lot of these principles behind good industrial design that we've used on the internet. Right? Good design gets out of the way. So when you're booking a room or you're listing a space on your site, like we got to get out of the way. We just got to let people just flow through that process of creating a listing on our site, for example. On Airbnb, people get a very memorable experience. When you book a place that's maybe in a city you've never been to or a country you've never visited, you actually get to embed yourself into like the fabric of the city. Because you're not staying in kind of tourist sections of the city. You actually stay in, if you want to, you can book rooms and places that are in like very local neighborhoods. So if you're going to Paris and you want to know what it's like to live in Paris to be a Parisian, you can book and stay in the home of a Parisian. You can go to their local grocery store, you can go to their local cafe. You can see the local nightlife that a local Parisian experiences. And you can really embed yourself in the fabric of that city. Yeah, it was a very unfortunate incident, but I'm really excited about how the team responded. We introduced over 40 new trust and safety features.
I've seen that.
Many were in the works already, including the host guarantee. So now every host on Airbnb is covered for up to $50,000 in the event that something like that happens. So I think Airbnb's the product is changed.
What have you changed to make sure that the guest will be safe somehow?
What's cool is that we've just introduced a lot of features so people can educate themselves. So ultimately, we just want to empower our users and our community to make the best possible decision that they can. We can make the site very transparent as to who you are and what your social graph looks like to help better educate you if you want to do a reservation or not.
Right.
So I think one of the coolest things is video profiles. So now on Airbnb, you can actually record from your webcam a video profile introducing yourself, talking about your interests, where you went to school, why do you host or why are you traveling to a city, and it really kind of brings the profile to life. And I haven't seen too many other websites who have embraced a video profile.
That's true.
So I think we're one of the first sites out there to start with video profiles at scale. People look at Airbnb and they think we were an overnight success, and that couldn't be further from the truth. It's been a very long haul to get to where we are today. 3 years is a very long time when you're working 6 or 7 days a week, 12 plus hours every day. It actually feels like a decade to me. It doesn't feel like 3 years, it feels like 10 years. But my advice to entrepreneurs would be you have to have an uncanny amount of persistence, almost to the point of people call crazy. Like, and I think you get persistence. Persistence comes from pursuing an idea that you're like incredibly passionate about. So maybe we should back up, and it actually starts with like being passionate about your idea. And I think if you're passionate about your idea, like nothing's going to stop you. I hope that designers out there can see what Nate, Brian, and I have done with Airbnb and say, wow, like, wow, that founding team is predominantly designers, which in Silicon Valley or in startups, like most founding teams are tech people, like programmers. And I think that we've bucked that trend, and hopefully we're providing an example for other designers to say, hey, if those guys can do that, I can do it too.
Definitely.
So I hope one of our contributions, I think we're making many contributions to the world, and I think one of those is that we're kind of blazing a trail for other designers to follow. What's the question that no one has asked me, but I would love to be asked? Who's my favorite designer?
Okay. Yeah.
No one's really asked that before. And I think my answer to that would be Charles and Ray Eames.
Okay, can you talk a bit about him?
Yeah, Charles and Ray Eames, they were a couple. Charles was the guy, Ray was the woman, and they were big in the 1950s and 60s. What they did changed the way that I kind of perceive the world. And they kind of like course corrected me to what I'm doing today. Bring the best design to the most people for the least price. They dedicated their lives to creating design that would outlast them, right? Even today, long after they've passed away, Charles and Ray Eames and the furniture and the objects they created is considered some of the best design that we've ever seen.
Ready.
All right, ready. It's lunchtime at Airbnb.